there's a lot of interesting things about women making money and how that played out in my life.
Right.
And I'm curious how it's playing out in your life.
The whole idea for Breadwinner was, this was my first, obviously the special I talk about my first year of marriage and then how my husband supported me financially, emotionally for a long time. And then I started making more money. And it was interesting because I'd always get asked in interviews, especially when I was promoting the special. Folks would say, what did your husband think of this special with you saying that you make more money than him? And I thought to myself, you don't ever ask male comedians this. What male comedians have been getting on stage, ripping their families new assholes, talking about, beating their chest and exposing parts of their life, and nobody thinks twice about it.
No.
So why is it now that I'm under a microscope because I'm a woman? And, of course, I'm married to a great guy who's super solid, and I couldn't have done it without him, and we've been together forever. So, it is tongue-in-cheek with us, but it is interesting how it's the first question. People think, is your husband okay with that? Is he secure in it? And I'm like, of course he is. He's shouting from the rooftops. He's in the wing being like, go harder, go for it.
Same.
He also gets to play a lot of golf and, take nice vacations, so it's worked out well for him.
Right.
I mean, how did it work with you?
Well, I got married at 37. So
Okay.
I dated a long time,
Yeah.
which gave me a lot of material on my little open mic nights
Right.
where I was shaking in my boots. I'm like, let me tell you about this bad date I had the other night. But anyway, it would always come out that, Sarah, it's no problem. I have no issue with this. And then it would just become an issue that I was successful in making potentially more money than they were. I think the dynamic just went south over and over and over again.
I'm sure.
And I was so sad about that and frustrated with that. But when I met Jesse, I was 35 and we got engaged. I was so excited. And then this is how much this was on my mind. He hadn't really talked to me about, my husband is such a guy's guy. I don't know if you know Jesse. But
I know Jesse.
He's like a serial entrepreneur.
He's asked me to do an Ironman, and I said, you're out of your
Yeah,
damn mind.
like-
I can't even make it to the turkey trot. Okay?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm married to that man, and he had no idea what Spanx was when I first started dating him. I mean, I remember he asked me if Spanx were sold at Barnes and Noble.
Wait, and how long had you been growing your business from this point?
Spanx was 7 years old.
Oh, so it's
and really, it was
established.
part of society.
You were wheeling and dealing.
I was wheeling
Right.
and dealing, and I'm dating this guy from New York who started Marquis Jet. And he's like, so what's Spanx? Are they at Barnes and Noble? I'm like, no, they're not at Barnes and Noble, and then he didn't know what to do with it. He was struggling. I'd see all the guys at all these parties in New York, and they'd be like, so what's your girlfriend do again? And finally one day he was like, I don't know, man. She's like the Michael Jordan of underwear. And they were all like, whoa. We get it.
Which is an accurate description of what you were doing.
Which is like the only way he could find the words. But anyway, he didn't really understand how successful it was. And so we're engaged. We're at the Upper West Side. We're at an Italian restaurant. He's vegetarian. He's eating some spaghetti with a bunch of veggies in it. So annoying.
Right.
I've got the side of fries and 3 other things that are fried on the table next to me. And I go, honey, I have something to tell you. And he just freezes and he looks so nervous. Like, is she breaking off the engagement? We're getting married in a few months. And he goes, what? And I go, I think I make more money than you think I do. I swear.
And how did he react to that?
And he had spaghetti hanging out of his mouth. And I remember he sucked the piece up and he looked at me and he got a little bit emotional, a little bit. And he goes, well, couldn't have happened to a nicer person, and kept eating his spaghetti.
Wow.